yesterday we're moving into nonfiction, looking at nonfiction. Yes, you previewed a little bit yesterday. Today's mini lesson is called Choosing Appropriate Texts and Reading with Stamina in Nonfiction. Reading with Stamina. It says, as nonfiction readers learn new ways to make sense of our texts, we hold on to everything that we know about good nonfiction reading. Everything we've learned in the past, which is a lot that you've learned in past years. If you think about all the time you've spent in nonfiction and you count social studies and science, it's a lot. And we add tools for reading nonfiction to our toolkit, using these tools as needed when we encounter difficulty. So, I am currently reading 3 different nonfiction books because I couldn't decide. This one I picked because of the topic. I'm interested in the Nazis and that time period.
I have something like that.
This one is called Get Real. What kind of world are you buying? And I bought it at the book fair, and I was really interested in. It's about Americans and how we have so much, and how we buy a lot of stuff, and how other countries are not
as fortunate.
Yeah, as fortunate as us. And so that topic interests me. And then this one I've always wanted to read, and it's called An American Plague, The True and Terrifying Story of Yellow Fever, Epidemic of 1793. And I have another copy of this, too, somewhere out there.
How come there's, like, a lot of books, like, about, like, that fever? Like, there was fever, like, 1793.
Yeah, there's a lot about the time period. Can you stop? Can you please stop?
Killed a bunch of people?
Yeah, and it was a big event in our time period when a plague hit America in the 1700s. So that's what I'm learning to find out, because I kind of think I know what a plague is, but I don't really know. So, but one thing for relating to this mini lesson, if you guys can listen up, is that with nonfiction, different than like a novel, like I can pick up any novel, I think, and just get into it. But with nonfiction, it's different for me. I'm not always into it. I have to force myself to be into it, and I really have to force myself to like pick up a nonfiction book and read it. For me. For some people, they find that nonfiction is like their genre. That's the genre they like. So one way that I kind of help myself get through the nonfiction is I set goals. And it's as simple as taking a sticky note as 1, 2, 3. 1, take a sticky note. 2, find a spot in my book where I think I can read to. Now, like for a novel, I would have no problem putting a sticky note like halfway through. But for nonfiction, because it's harder and it's a different kind of reading, and I'm reading to get information, I have to really like chunk the text in a smaller way. So like this chapter 1, is 9 pages, which normally I would say, well, that's easy, 9 pages. But knowing me in nonfiction, I know that there's going to be a lot in here, and I'm probably not going to, my stamina, how long I can read, is going to be less than if I were reading a novel. So I'm actually going to I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to go to page 5 and put a sticky note, and then I know that I've reached my goal. So it's about setting small goals for yourself in some of the books that you choose. And if you're choosing, maybe you chose a book like this because it's thin, but then when you open it up, it's intense and it's a lot of information. So you might need to chunk it out into smaller parts. And sometimes the books are, this has chapters in it and even sections that you can use as a guide. And my advice would be to whatever you think you can do to go smaller. Than that. And that way you'll reach your goals, and also you'll be able to kind of build your stamina. Another thing to think about is if you are a good reader and you're finding that it's hard for you to stay focused in this, don't lose heart because of that. Because nonfiction is a different beast altogether than fiction. And so the content, and even when a book looks easy, it's not. Like this book, I kind of picked it because it was small and it was short and it was thin. But I'm finding when I read it, and we'll find in tomorrow's mini lesson too, that it's hard. So today and every day, whenever you're reading nonfiction, I want you to try to set goals. You can try to use the sticky note goal. So you have a sticky note right now, and what I want you to do right now is, because today we're going to do a little bit of nonfiction reading for Nonfiction Readers Workshop, I want you to set a goal for yourself. And I want you to hang it out so that when I can come around really quick, I can see where your goal is. Okay? So if you can do that right now, and I'm gonna you don't put your name on it, because you're gonna actually you're setting a goal for what you want to read for today. We're gonna read for 15 minutes. So you're trying to gauge for yourself, how much do you think you could read in 15 minutes?
Wait, I don't get what we're doing with the sticky note.
So the sticky note is going to set a goal for yourself of where you want to be when 15 minutes is up.
20 pages is a good thing, right?
I don't know, because that's 20 pages if we're reading for 15 minutes is less. Wait, help me say this.
More than the average reader.
How many? More than a minute a page?
Yeah.
No, less than a minute a page, and I couldn't do that.
Oh, I can do that.
But for nonfiction, can you do that?
Nonfiction is my thing.
Okay, then if you know that nonfiction is your thing, then yes, good. That would be good. And we'll see where you go. Okay, so I'm going to come around, and I just want to see where you're gauging yourself. Thank you, Ian. Thank you for demonstrating for the audience. She's videotaping for people who are sick. Hi, people who are sick.
Wait, hi. Wait, let's all say hi.
Okay, everyone say hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi, sick people.
All right, you can stop.